What's going on, James here, and welcome to the first official, I guess you could say, MrBucsNation 1.0 mock draft for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Whole 7-round mock draft for the 2018 draft. Yeah, 2018 draft. So, obviously, this is going to be based off of a lot of scenarios. It's only a 1.0. So obviously you guys can give input. Maybe I reached for players. Maybe I'm being unrealistic with where players are being taken. Like maybe they're going to go before the Bucs pick. You know, you guys give me some input. I'm not a draft expert, so I really would appreciate your guys' input in this scenario. So yeah, let's get started. So the Buccaneers have a first, a second, a third, a fourth, a fifth, and 2 6th-round picks, and they pick number 7 for all of these except for the other 6th rounder they pick later. So let's get started with round 1. Pick number 7, I have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers selecting Quinton Nelson, guard out of Notre Dame. Now, Quinton Nelson is a special type of player, arguably the best guard prospect in a very, very long time, and he's also argued to be one of the best draft prospects in this entire draft. And that's comparing him to Saquon Barkley, that's comparing him to Bradley Chubb, and that's a big, big deal. Now, if the Bucs get him at number 7, if he falls to the Bucs at number 7, that's huge because you're going to have an offensive line of Donovan Smith, you're going to have an offensive line of Quinton Nelson, Ryan Jensen, Ali Marpet, and DeMar Dawson. You cannot tell me that that's a top 5 offensive line. You cannot tell me that, or top 10 at least. The reason I have Quinton Nelson going here at pick 7 is because the rumor is that the Colts are infatuated with Bradley Chubb. They want Bradley Chubb insanely bad. And a lot of people are saying that the Colts, if the Bucs don't do anything, they don't trade up to get Bradley Chubb, then the Colts are probably going to take Bradley Chubb. This is also taking into account that the Browns are going to select a quarterback, the Giants are going to select a quarterback or Saquon Barkley. Pick number 3, the Jets select a quarterback. Pick number 4, the Browns are either going to trade down or select like a Minkah Fitzpatrick because they don't need Quinton Nelson or Bradley Chubb. Pick 5, the Broncos select a quarterback, and then pick 6, the Colts select Bradley Chubb. The only snag here would be is if the Broncos took Quinton Nelson, which they could do, and I'm scared of them doing that, but we'll just have to wait and see. Maybe the Broncos make a trade with a team like the Arizona Cardinals who want a quarterback as well. Again, we will just have to wait and see on that. Obviously, things could change as the NFL offseason progresses. But in round 2, okay, pick 7 in round 2 for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I have them taking Mike Hughes, cornerback out of USF. Now, when we talk about Mike Hughes, he's kind of one of the more better cornerbacks for a Mike Smith defense. He's the perfect size at 5'10". He's good on press. Now, obviously, Mike Smith doesn't play a lot of press, but when he does, it's really successful. So, if you want my honest opinion, I could see Mike Smith going and playing more press next season, and just kind of getting some guys going at that. Vernon Hargreaves playing some press, Brent Grimes playing some press, and Mike Hughes playing press as well. He's also a good return man and just overall general good special teamer, which is very important to the Buccaneers. We need better special teamers because special teams is it's 1/3 of the game, so you really need to have some good players on that, good gunners. You know, we have Ryan Smith and Josh Robinson, but it never hurts to have a good returner. That's something we haven't had in a while. Again, he's got good speed and timing in terms of figuring out cornerback or wide receivers' routes and keeping with them whenever they do make certain cuts and moves. He's also good at adjusting to break up the pass and possibly making interceptions. And his NFL comparison was Bradley Roby coming into the draft. So overall, just a pretty good prospect in Mike Hughes, and I expect him to be there for the Bucs pick. And I think he'd be a very productive corner. I think he fits right in with what the Bucs are doing at cornerback, kind of smaller guys. But moving on to round 3. Round 3, pick 7, I have the Buccaneers taking Nick Chubb, running back out of Georgia. Now this one's interesting because we're to round 3 now, and there's no edge rusher. I haven't given the Bucs an edge rusher yet, but we'll get to that. Don't you worry. We have some needs that we needed to address, obviously, and taking the best player available in Quinton Nelson, that's just a no-brainer. So let's move on to Nick Chubb, though, okay? Very strong runner, and he has some pretty good speed as well. He's really good at getting to pad level and really lowering the shoulder and just making phenomenal trucking ability. He's also very good at running in between the tackles. He doesn't usually like to bounce around a lot in the backfield, which I think is phenomenal. He just hits the hole, just kind of rams into the line and goes. You know, very powerful runner Nick Chubb is. He has very good cutting ability and better footwork post-injury. He did suffer an injury, but he seems to have come back even stronger and has better footwork now. And his NFL comparison was Alfred Morris. So again, the Bucs do need a running back. Their current best running back, you could say, is Peyton Barber. They haven't signed one in free agency yet up to this point. So we do need a running back, and this is a very loaded running back class. Honorable mention to Rashad Penny. I almost gave him to the Buccaneers in the later rounds, but I feel that Nick Chubb's just the overall better prospect. And I could have given them a better prospect like a Darian Geis. I could have had them trade into the first round or make a trade or anything, but that's too much work for me. I don't have time for that. So I give them Nick Chubb here. That might be a little bit of a little bit generous for the Bucs. Maybe Chubb goes in round 2 or something, but I feel it's a good spot for them here. Let me know what you guys think about this, all these picks down in the comment section below, and give me some input as always. But again, Nick Chubb, very powerful runner. But moving on to round 4, okay? Now this is where we get a defensive pass rusher for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and Marcell Frazier, the defensive end from Missouri. Now, when we talk about Frazier, he has good jolt and good energy in his footwork. He has very good first step, very quick hands, very quick footwork, okay? He has very good stabbing move as well as punching moves. So he's got a couple of moves that he can use at his disposal to get past tackles and kind of maneuver past them, I guess you could say. And he's got a quick enough step to where offensive linemen sometimes have a hard time reacting to that. Obviously, it's going to be different whenever we get to the NFL level, but still, he's a very quick and effective pass rusher. I guess you could even call him explosive. So that's very good, and he also has good mental awareness in game situations, so he knows what type of move to do whenever given the situation. So if he thinks it's going to be a run play, he'll know what type of move to do, and if he knows it's going to be a passing play, he'll know what type of move to do as well. And he also has good reads on the offensive linemen. He kind of figures like where their body movement's going to be, where they're going to shift, where their hands are going to be. He's very good at reading offensive linemen, and I feel that that's a very, very, very important ability to have if you're going to be a defensive end or pass rusher. So yeah, Marcell Frazier, round 4, defensive end, Missouri. But moving on to round 5, okay, and now we have Jordan Whitehead, safety from Pittsburgh. Okay, now his NFL comparison was Jalen Mills, and Jordan Whitehead's a very versatile safety. Much like Jalen Mills, he can play both safety and slot cornerback. He's not really afraid to play man coverage, and he's definitely not afraid to tackle. He has very good beeline speed, and he's a very fearless and hard hitter. That might cause him some penalties down the line with helmet to hits and all that, maybe get some unnecessary roughness penalties, but all in all, I think he makes up for it with his just hard-hitting ability. Very good, strong safety type player Jordan Whitehead is. Very good in the run game, like I said, very good speed. He's a very good special teams player as well, as like a cover guy, as a return guy. Kind of like in that same vein that I put Mike Hughes in. Jordan Whitehead is another good, versatile type of guy who can play cornerback, safety, and overall just be a very nice, hard-hitting guy. Jalen Mills, I feel, is a very good comp. I kind of compare him to a little bit like a TJ Ward, except he's a little bit more versatile than TJ Ward. He's kind of your typical hard-hitting smash safety, except he's a little bit more versatile than your average one. So I like Whitehead a lot in this position, and I feel he'd be a very nice addition to a Bucs safety group that is a little bit lacking in depth, and they could do with a little bit of change at that position after a couple of years of Keith Tandy and Chris Conti and whatnot. If you pair Whitehead up with Justin Evans, I think you have a pretty decent pair of young safeties to work with. But moving on to the final 2 picks here, they're both in round 6, and the first round 6 pick I have is Braxton Berrios, wide receiver out of Miami. Now this one's pretty tricky because his NFL comparison was Danny Amendola. Now, he is much smaller than Danny Amendola. I believe he's 5'9", 185 or something like that, and that's fine. Good receivers don't have to be tall, super speedy, athletic guys. You know, you can be small and crafty. I mean, that's kind of what Berrios is. He's a good route runner, has very good hands. He reminds me a lot of like a smaller Adam Humphries, except maybe a little bit crisper in terms of his route running and whatnot. But again, he can get good separation, especially with cornerbacks who feel that he won't do much to them. Obviously, this is the NFL, and you can't really assume anything in the NFL. so that probably won't happen, but he does still make good body adjustments as well, and he has a very good ability of, like I said, getting separation and good hands and good route running, and I think that's huge, because I remember I read a quote from a cornerback saying, like, the hardest cornerbacks are not the fastest, the most athletic, the ones who can jump the highest. It's the guys who can run the cleanest routes and fool you, and that's what Braxton Berrios kind of brings to the table from Miami. He's very well known for having good route running and kind of manipulating defensive backs and tricking them in a way, and I feel that that's something that we could definitely add to the Buccaneers wide receiver core. Yes, we're very deep with guys like Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Deshaun Jackson, Adam Humphries, but after those four, I feel like you could use a fifth or sixth guy, and honestly, I would put Braxton Berrios above a guy like Bobo Wilson or above a guy like Freddie Martino. I'd easily put him as our fifth wide receiver and just roll with that, you know? And I feel he would have the room to expand to even greater heights than that if you give him enough time and development. I'm a big fan of Braxton Berrios in the 6th round. But moving on to the final pick in the 6th round for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This is the end of the Mr. Bucs Nation 1.0 mock draft. Full 7 rounds for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I have J.T. Thomas, cornerback out of Oklahoma, 6'5" or 6 foot tall, pretty decent height, like I said, but low weight. I don't think that's really a problem. Obviously, if you're 6 foot, you're gonna want to have some good weight to you. But he's very good for zone-based defenses, which is primarily what the Bucs run. Like I said, he's gonna be a good fit, like Mike Hughes. He does the one bad thing about J.T. Thomas is he struggles with confidence issues. Once he's been beaten, once he kind of loses that confidence, he crumbles. He really does crumble bad. He gets bad pass interference penalties, just bad penalties all over. He loses his confidence and he kind of shrinks. That's something you need to work on if you're drafting a J.T. Thomas. If you are deciding to draft him, you need to work on his confidence issues, because if he does fix his confidence issues, he would be fine. He has a very smooth back pedal, good timing, and good reads on wide receivers. He doesn't usually get fooled that much with routes. It all just depends on that big confidence issue, and it's a very big issue, especially with his low weight and whatnot. He really needs to cut down on the penalties, and he needs to cut down on the lack of confidence, I guess I should say. That'll probably even out, though, whenever he does hit the NFL and he gets with some position coaches and he just gets with some veterans and whatnot from the league. I think that'll help out his confidence a lot. But I really like these couple of 6th-round picks that I have for the Bucs, and I don't think they're too far out there. But one honorable mention, I almost put him at round 4 for the Bucs. Duke Ejiofor. Uses strength and long arms to get through tackles, is an edge rusher, naturally powerful, but isn't really a gifted athlete, but he usually relies on his strength whenever he's rushing the passer. I almost put him around 4, and then I remembered Marcell Frazier. So yeah, that's the end of the Mr. Bucs Nation mock draft 1.0. What do you guys think about it? Let me know down in the comment section below. Did I reach for some guys? Did I maybe give the Bucs too much here? You know, maybe was I too generous? Are some guys probably going to go before the Bucs pick? Again, let me know in the comment section below. I'm really happy with this first mock draft. It was a lot of fun to make, researching all that and whatnot. Obviously, I didn't have a whole lot of time to do it, but I feel I feel very good about this. So again, give your guys input, you know, and I'll take account to it. And who knows, maybe you guys will see a 2.0 Mr. Bucs Nation mock draft. Again, let me know if you want to see that down in the comment section below. And if you're a fan of another NFL team, let me know. Maybe I can do this for another NFL team or something or other. But yeah, hope you guys all enjoyed this video. And if you did and you're new, go ahead and subscribe and like the video. And yeah, as always, guys, I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you in the next video. But until then, goodbye for now, guys. See ya.